Hey everybody, so I'm solving a problem this morning and I thought it'd be one that you would all solve as well. So I wanted to actually show my screen because I've heard people would prefer that over just a talking head. So the problem that we're solving today is one of my clients is really interested in making sure all the PowerPoints they produce for a specific client meet all the brand guidelines that that client has. And so the problem with that is it takes a lot of effort, right, to go through and make sure all of that works. So what I did is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to switch over so you can see what I'm working on. I started out with a slide deck that wasn't brand guidelines, right? So this is a slide I got from SlideShare or something a long time ago. And you'll notice there's lots of real pretty colors on it, etc. But then I was like, all right, well, how do I do this? So I went into, as hopefully you guys can see, Claude Cowork. And the first thing you got to do is you have to go into Customize and go into Connectors. And then once I did that, I actually went in and added PowerPoint by Anthropic. Now, you would do that by clicking Browse Connectors, and then you type in, PowerPoint there, and then you would hit Connect. Right here, I've already got it connected, so now you can see it's set up. So now if you go here, it's now included, or it's now added in my desktop. You also have to be in the desktop app for this. It doesn't work in a cloud version, right? So now if we go back, that was the first thing I did. I had to have that connector in. Then I went through and I had a false start. I added a PowerPoint, but that PowerPoint didn't really have everything on it that I needed. But then I just pasted an image of what I had already stored in Canva as my brand guidelines. So you could also upload, if you had a real official brand guideline, you could also upload that. And then if you kind of look through the rest of this, what you'll notice is the connector was live, the MCP server is open, and what I said was basically like, okay, now that you have my colors, what can we do? And it was getting an error, which makes sense because I put in empty slide. So then I put in the one I showed you guys, right? After I uploaded that new slide, and I was able to talk through this pretty quick because I use this Whisper app, which is nice. It took that presentation, applied all my brand colors, and then made it show up on the side. Now, it then made some suggestions like, hey, you could delete this slide. And I was like, what? I can delete the slide? How neat is that? Right? And then it was like, hey, you can apply them. So now you might look, if you can kind of see, we'll open up the other one. That's what the first one looked like. And now this is what this one looks like. Now that is already cool enough, right? Nice and quick. But now what I want to do is go in and start updating the content for each of those slides. And you can do that. So what it's doing is it's building a viewer to allow me to go in. Here will be all the slides. The thing that I also did, this was a template. I didn't want to mess it up. So it created a save as. So there's a new file that's coming up with my client. And then that's the one that I'm going to be working on. I also have the Google Drive connector on, so this went literally right to my Google Drive. And I can just start updating and say, instead of this sample text, please put this here. Now, one thing I would say is this took a pretty long time to put together. So what I would say is kind of get that ready if you're going to need to be working on it. Maybe then go have a cup of coffee or something. But hopefully you guys found this helpful, and let me know if these things